The STEM Society.
What's poppin', people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. I want to dive into Akademiks calling out these journalists this week and try to see what type of time he's on, man. He is really out here getting at these people. So, here recently, there was a lawsuit that got dismissed that had Axe name, Drake's name, and Stake's name in it. It got dismissed, and everything seemed to be cool. He was doing his typical tweeting, celebrating, stream, so on and so forth. And then he decided to call out three particular journalists: Loren LaRosa, Lamont and Roc Markman. Now, those are the people who have the credentials to be called journalists in this hip-hop game. There's some other ones around here too, but those are the three main ones in the culture that are always being referenced to, right? So there was a tweet that Akademiks put out, the first tweet that I seen, where he retweeted somebody breaking down the dismissal. And this is what he had to say, which was very interesting. Just reposting this on the timeline. If y'all missed my stream, Loren LaRosa, Lamont, don't let me out journalists, y'all. I expect y'all to do your due diligence or not. Roc Markman, you still a journalist or you just a Drake hater? So once that tweet hit, a lot of the streets was talking. A lot of the internet streets was talking. Does he have a point? Is he right? Are these people just here for show? Which, in my eyes, at times, yeah. You know what I'm saying? There are times when I feel like they're just there just to flash their credentials and just show, hey, I'm a journalist. I know these things. So I kind of see where his frustration came. Ak has been talking about the frustration of people coming forward and being quick to talk about the bad side of things, or just like, oh, a new lawsuit just popped up. But they're not very quick to give the follow-up on what's been going on, because I haven't really seen any of those three people really say anything about the dismissal of that lawsuit. So I'm not even mad at him saying that. He has a point. He went on to tweet this: if you want to be a hip-hop journalist, please put in some work. The reason everyone talks about Drake is the journalists of this culture are lazy pieces of shit who don't put no work in to even give us the stories to discuss. Nothing to debate, nothing to explore. They bums. After reading those tweets, and I might have stated this earlier, but I'm going to say it again, I agree. He's not covered very well. The journalists really don't do their job as following up on situations when it comes to lawsuits pertaining to him, Drake, and even Stake. I get it. But I also understand that you're a known crashout and people don't like you. You can expect somebody who has the power of the pen to follow up with something good behind anything that you do. You're not a very likable person, bro. You have a very punchable face for a lot of these people. And I'm just speaking for them because they can't really say it. I think they have what people like to call nuance. I don't have that shit. So I'm just going to tell you how it is. You have a very punchable face. You're very unlikable when it comes to saying things online. You do a lot of stuff to get attention to your streams and to your fucking platform that doesn't need to be done. And you always take it further. Case in point, Marc Markman went on his platform to respond to these tweets. I want to play a clip from that response.
The guy who lies to you, who will come up with the nastiest takes, who will hire clippers to spread it across the internet to manipulate whatever he wants you to believe. The guy who doesn't present an ounce of objectivity. The guy who created Akademiks TV and lets that account do his dirty work, dropping the most vile, nasty shit, just actively attacking folks. That's the guy saying, okay, where's the journalism now? Hey, we need the facts here now. Now the facts are on point. But it's not about facts, and it's never been about facts. It's about what story he can tell that benefits him and diminishes anyone who he believes is opposed to him. That remind you of someone? His Uncle Trump? Seriously, he calls him Uncle Trump. He's called him Uncle Trump. It feels like right out of that playbook, right? And his tweet, I mean, it wasn't serious. It's not about him wanting me or Loren or Marc to report on whatever it is he's talking about right now, right? He don't need me for that. He don't need Loren for that. He don't need Marc for that. He has a bunch of clippers that he pays to do that. These days, the game isn't about the truth. The game is if you could get the internet to repeat your bullshit long enough till it becomes the truth, till it appears to be the truth.
After hearing Rob Markman's response, I thought it was fair. I thought it was a great point of view, a great angle that he took when he said that Akademiks only uses this attention to put it directly towards him. He's a guy that lies consistently. He's a guy that takes money from labels, which is stuff that we all knew. Let's be honest for a second. Akademiks never really hid the fact that he took money. He's been upfront about taking money from labels and being able to run his company the way he wants to run it. Can't really hold it against the guy. I like what Rob Markman said, but he's not telling me anything I don't already know. And that's because Ak has been upfront about a lot of things. Now, the lying part of it, you have to dig a little bit deeper to really understand what he's lied about. But as far as taking money from people, or as far as like him being the center of attention, we all know that. We all knew those types of things. When are we going to start adding new charges to this guy? When are we going to start putting shit on his docket for real? You get what I'm saying? Again, great response from Rob Markman, but let's hear something new. Let's hear something that we don't know. So, of course, when Akademiks heard Rob Markman's response, what did he do? He got on stream and he responded in his own way. And he has this 8-minute crash out where he goes in on everybody. I am going to play just a piece of what he said back to Rob Markman and these other journalists that he don't respect.
When I think about journalism, I think about investigative shit. None of y'all do that. Definitely not you. You the genius nigga. You don't do that. Loren LaRosa is I called for a statement. She don't do that. And anybody else I mentioned, I basically told y'all all three of y'all niggas could eat a dick. You know why? Because the real journalists these days that put the work in is the YouTubers, nigga. They put the work in. I've always said, you know why I came up in hip-hop? I came up in hip-hop shitting on niggas who wrote. The journalists who wrote for Hot New Hip-Hop, all these other bum-ass sites. I shitted on them because I would download I figured out, let's get the indictment. Let me go read 700 pages. Let me go read 10 different things. All y'all did is repost. All y'all do is repost shit. Nigga, y'all getting called journalists because y'all got connections. Nigga, y'all don't get called journalism because your work. Trap Lord Rose puts all you niggas to shame. The fuck do y'all do? The fuck do y'all do? How come some white boys is making videos, breaking down shit, being investigative? Even if we talking about motherfucking Rolling Stone, it's Nancy Dillon, a white bitch over there doing it. How the fuck are y'all journalists then? Y'all are the laziest fucking pieces of shit journalists I've ever seen. Don't cover the state case if you don't want to put dots together and drop a story. You niggas do nothing.
So when Akademiks gets to a point where he's not getting the responses that he's looking for, he throws a temper tantrum. Per normal. And you know what's funny about that? That's the reason they don't follow up with your stories. That's why they don't talk about you in a very fair way. You're an asshole, man. People don't like you. And that's one of the reasons why. And I know you don't care. I know Akademiks could give two fucks because he's on top of the world and he's one of the number one people when it comes to hip hop media. But at the end of the day, eventually those people that you shit on, you're going to need them one day. Regardless, because as much as you want to call yourself a journalist or you want to out-journalist the real journalist, there are things or there's places or there's people that they can connect to that you can never touch. Just because you cool with Drake doesn't necessarily mean you the man. That doesn't mean you can't get into every room. It doesn't work like that. And you are so headstrong and your head is so high up in the clouds that you don't realize you're fucking up any kind of relationship you can have with any of these people because you don't care. You the king. You the king. You're the number one hip hop person in media. So says Complex. That's great for Complex. But you consistently make enemies when you don't have to. I remember watching the Charlemagne sit down that Akademiks had, and Charlemagne was like, why do you want to make an enemy out of these people? Why do you want Roc Nation to be your enemy? They could easily take you down, no problem. You start fires with everybody who doesn't kiss your ass, bruh, and it sucks because this could really be better than what it is. Your relationships with Marc Lamont Hill or Loren LaRosa or Rob Markman could be so much better if you would just turn your fucking ego down to 5. That's all it takes. And then you speak on these YouTubers that you love so much. So let's talk about these YouTubers that you love so much. Trap Lord Ross is a UK guy who digs into hip hop culture or into black culture, and he does nothing but exploit it for views and to get paid. He is one level up under Vlad, if you ask me. That nigga is lower than Vlad. At least Vlad gets both sides of the story. Anything that Trap Lord Ross puts out when it comes to black culture or hip hop artists or whatever the case may be, there's never a two-sided thing. You're either a serial killer, you're a murderer, or you're just a piece of shit. Watch any of his documentaries and you tell me what you see when you watch any of them. The King Von documentary that he did was fucking disgusting, bruh. He made that man look like a fucking maniac. A maniac. Like he ain't got no family. And I'm not saying the King Von was an angel, but I'm pretty sure there's two sides to every story, and he decided not to tell those two sides. Now, I understand that Ak was like, yo, they do all this deep diving research. Trap Lord Ross decided to just go into old tweets and old Twitter conversations, pull those things up and use those as the evidence of saying King Von is a murderer. He is a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He's a fucking crazy asshole. That's what he went into. Tweets. Now, I don't know how much deep diving he went into in case files. Maybe he did. I was too disgusted to get through the whole, I think that documentary is like 3 hours long. But he's consistently done the same thing when it comes to American rappers. He even did a fucking documentary on Drake calling OVO a gang. Look it up. I'm not lying. Trap Lord Ross does things across the pond because nobody's going to touch him over there. He's only really touched on one UK artist, and that's Central C. And we seen how that happened. We seen how that turned out when they were at Complex Con. It was not fucking with Buddy, not one bit. He got froze out, and he was just like, oh, that's fucked up. These people that you want to defend or you want to be on their side for, they're not credible or good people. They exploit the culture to make money. Period, bruh. That's what they do. And I understand your connection with them. Now, I don't watch What's the Dirt because I don't really know any of his content that would make me want to watch his channel consistently. So I can't really speak on him. But to Trap Lord Ross and Akademiks, these two birds of a feather, y'all are cool because y'all both coming up the same way. Let's not forget, Akademiks came up because he was reporting on the war in Chirac. He was reporting on deaths. He was calling out people in Chicago. That is his come up, bro. Like why do we forget that? Why do we forget what this man made his fortune on, which is death? He made his fortune off of talking about death. He made his fortune off of talking about niggas in Chicago he didn't even know. He got into some gang shit that he didn't even know about. And look at him now. So I understand why he defends people like that. And of course, they do some of the best deep diving in the world. But are they responsible with it? Where's the integrity when it comes to that kind of shit, bro? Like, I just want to know where your thinking is coming from, because no integrity comes from any of the shit that you're talking about. None. And we supposed to be like, Akademiks got a point. That nigga's right. No, brother, you're not. You're not. And it's sad to see you crash out on somebody like Rob Markman, bruh. Rob Markman, he does genius, my nigga. Am I the only one bugging here? Am I the only one that's like off my rocker with the things that I'm seeing here? None of this stuff is warranted. You don't have to crash out on everything. But I do have a solution for that. And this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to wrap all of this stuff up by saying this. Akademiks speaks from the low man on the totem pole mentality. Even though he's winning right now, even though he's the guy, even though people say he's the number one person in hip hop media, you still act like you the nigga that's trying to get on. Like you've made it, bruh. Like you're here. Why do you have this Napoleon complex, this little man mentality when you don't have to? None of these people asked to be in your favor, my nigga. Like nobody asked to be on your team like that. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe you want somebody like a Loren LaRosa or a Lamont Hill or a Rob Markman to be on your team so it can be more legitimate. Now, I praise everything that Akademiks does when it comes to these cases, really getting down and dirty and reading a lot of shit that I wouldn't read. It's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't just dig into because, God, a lot of it is boring. I tried doing that stuff when Drake was doing the whole UMG thing, and it is some boring shit. You have to really drudge through it. And I respect that part of your game, brother. I really think that you do that better than anybody else. But at the end of the day, why is it such a big deal when people say about who you are and what you're doing? Why do you care what Rob Markman, Loren LaRosa, or Marc Lamont Hill is saying about you, bro? You beef with everybody. Why do they have to report on you fairly? You don't do it. You don't do it. So what are we doing here? This whole thing, when I look at the whole thing, it's just a big mess. And it just shows that hip hop media, black media, whatever you want to call it, cannot figure this shit out to save their life. We're already having a problem with Stephen A. Smith and his situation. Now on the hip hop side of things, we can't get our shit together either. I think there are things in his rants that are a little bit justified, that I understand why he goes there, but everything ain't about you. And everybody's not trying to be the top hip hop nigga, the top hip hop media nigga like you are. Like there's other things out here that are important to us outside of what Drake's doing or how Steak is clearing all of these lawsuits up. We get it. Fair and unbiased reporting is what you're looking for when it comes to the person that you cool with or yourself. But every little thing that jumps out, we don't have to talk about or we shouldn't have to give a fuck about. Just saying. I don't feel like the crash outs are warranted. I don't feel like these journalists have to kiss your ass like everybody else does. That's how I look at it. What do you guys think? Do you think Akademiks is right in calling out all of these journalists? Do you think Akademiks has a point? These journalists should be doing more work. Are they lazy? How do you feel about this whole situation? Whatever it is, bless me with a comment. Let me know how you feel. Before I get out of here, I have a Cole's Corner. This Ray Daniels stuff grew legs and got a little out of control. Here recently, Wayno got on this platform to respond to Ray Daniels and something that he said during his podcast. Listen to a piece of Wayno's rant.
Now, you question why I'm on a Black Effect Network and then you say some shit about, oh, well, because he leaked information. That's what you're reducing me to, nigga? That's what you're reducing me to. See, the thing about Ray Daniels, I don't even take it personal and I don't even take it as disrespect because I don't know you. I don't know you personally or professionally. I've never had to work with you. You put me on the narrow. I made some money on narrow. Thank you. But other than that, I don't know you on no level. Now, since the nigga want to talk about why I got something, and he's always talking about yo, man, you know, why Charlamagne trying to keep a black guy down and all that. He should be helping me. And let me tell you something. This is not for me to defend Charlamagne. I don't give a fuck about what y'all two niggas got going. This is me talking to you. You went on the internet and said some shit about my business, my professional business that you have no insight on. Since you so much of a fucking executive, wouldn't you know that any deal that's done takes months to do? So you think, oh, Charlamagne told me to leak some information, and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yo, I'll give you a black effect deal for that. See, that's the type of way you speak, and you don't articulate. You think you articulate yourself well, but you don't. You just be saying shit.
That's just a piece of what Wayno says. This whole thing sprouted from Ray Daniels saying that Wayno got his deal because he leaks information. You know, he got that black effect deal because of that. Now, a lot of people weren't really feeling Wayno and what he was saying, and there was a lot of people like myself who were. I'm one of those people who I've been saying this about Ray Daniels for a while now, about him just saying shit. And I understood the frustration and why he's mad. We have a problem with black podcasters doing the hot take shit, saying whatever that's on their mind to be able to get people to come to their websites and their platforms to be able to say, see, look at me. I'm telling y'all I'm right. And then they'll have no substance behind it to be able to capture or keep an audience. I 100% feel like what Wayno did was justified. I feel like he had every right to go in on Ray Daniels because Ray Daniels has been doing this hot take bullshit ever since he got into the podcasting game. It is what it is. People like that shit because he's saying crazy things. Bow Wow's way more popular than Jay-Z at one point in time. Timbaland is right. Timbaland is using AI because he don't want to hear from you, you artists anymore. All y'all do is complain. These are things that he's actually said. Look it up. So when Wayno goes crazy or goes off, because I've never seen Wayno like that before either, it's justified. Some of these guys need to have their feet held to the fire, bruh. Some of these people who get into podcasting just to say things to get attention or to algo farm need to be checked. And Wayno checked him. Now, after that whole episode dropped, of course, Akademiks gets on the phone with Ray Daniels to have a conversation about what happened.
So I just want to ask you the question that you could, get into your bag or whatever. But I want to ask you with Wayno first, and then we're going to get to Charlamagne. Because Wayno was so upset. And I watched this video, and I can't even lie to you. I was taken aback by, him mentioning consistently that he was dealing with a lot of grief and going through real life stuff. And, he felt away. What's your reaction to that video? I'm guessing you watched it.
Well, yeah, I did. It bothered me because I got so much love for Wayno, but I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I'm gonna just chalk it up to he just buried his mom 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even imagine living without my mother. You feel me? Like, my mother and I are so close. So for me, it was like I saw it, and I've never seen Wayno that way. Never. And me and Wayno cool. At least I thought we was. I met his kids. He met mine. So, wow. For me, it's like, I'm just assuming that, it's his mother death, and I'm just chalking up to that, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I got love for Wayno, man. Like, I ain't never seen him act like that before, so I'm just gonna assume that, he dealing with some real grief right now, and that's just how it's coming off. I'm like, bro, you could have just told me I pissed you off. I would apologize immediately. You have to go to the internet to do that, but, clicks and views and all that stuff is how we eat, so I'm not even mad at him.
You are about as clueless as they can get. You reduce that man to a fucking clown, to somebody who does clown shit. You basically said he didn't work his ass off to get the deal, bro. You basically said, oh man, you be leaking shit. And then it's not just a passerby type comment. Like, you meant that shit. And the fact that you don't have the wherewithal to understand that you literally just reduced this man to like a fucking whistleblower to get a deal that just shows me exactly what kind of headspace you are in, my brother. You are not to be trusted. You are a person that should most definitely be on the watch list, just like Stephen A. Smith. You should be a person that we most definitely should stay away from because you mean no good to anybody who's in this space right now. And that's a God honest truth. Anybody who doesn't see what they did wrong first to make somebody go as hard as Wayno went clearly has a problem. Clearly has a problem. You, my man, are not all the way there. I think you are, I think you got your head up your ass, and that's why you don't realize what you said was wrong. And honestly, bro, I don't really think anybody should be dealing with you. But that's just me. I'm on the lower level. I don't want to get pressed at a YouTube at a YouTube event. But I completely agree with what Wayno said. And I think you are one of these people who are just a slimy snake and nobody should be dealing with you. Well, that's all I got for you guys today, man. Thank you for joining me for another episode. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy. Pay me in a like, pay me in a comment, but support me with a subscription. Grow my platform as big as the sun. If you don't mind, I'm starting to do something new, which is called Cold Takes, which is just me giving some takes about some things that I see happening in the culture. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram or TikTok yet, please do so. I'll put the places you can follow me at down in the comments, or I'll put it down in the description. But follow me, man, and give me some feedback on what you think about these cold takes. They'll be coming out every other day. I'm just trying to try something new. So I would love to see your support when it comes to this. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you for joining me for another episode. Take care of yourself. I love you. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.